All right, guys. Shelly Rivera, Coffee Anxiety and Love. Today we are working on. Oh, the colors in here are hideous, but for the most part, the RV is in decent condition. We do have some minor repairs that we need to do on the inside. The outside is the concern right now. The roof. It looks like we might have a few leaks or something in there, but for the most part, I think we have enough materials to at least do a temporary fix right now. That'll get us on the road, and little by little we can start doing more. So as we go today, posting, letting y'all know, do the updates, and we'll see how this comes out. And yeah, I'm painting all of this. This blue just got to go. So that is what I'm in the process of doing right now, sanding and getting ready to start painting. So talk to you guys later. All right, Shelly Rivera, Coffee, Anxiety, and Love. As you can tell, I got paint everywhere but the damn trailer. So, for right now, this is just the primer. But already, this thing looks so much better. I'm just so much happier with the way it looks right now. This is kind of what it was looking. And we're going to have to replace this whole wall. We have the paneling and everything. We're going to go get some, we need to get some more of the insulation and all that. We have fixed the roof, so there shouldn't be any more leaks, but only time will let us know that. But from right now, the roof was fixed, so we're good with that. We just need to replace this wall. We have covered up all that yucky green and blue paint. We still need to do the ceiling in here, but it is getting hot, and we're hungry, and we got some errands to run, so we're going to let this part dry. And then once it does, probably maybe this evening, start coming in here and I'll try to start putting on the first coat of the regular paint. If I can get at least the first coat of the regular paint on, I'll be even happier. We do have an issue with this window. There's no pane in it. These windows are stupid expensive to redo, so we're going to have to figure out a creative way to redo this window without covering it up, because we have right now very little light and hardly any window like air flow in here. So we have this window and we have that window, and of course we have the door, and we'll have that front window, but I don't know how much airflow we'll get through here once we open it up, because it is such a tiny little space to open up, and I don't like like closing all the windows. I like having the airflow in. So that'll be interesting to see how we do all this. There is no central air here. We do have a window unit that we have in the house. I don't know if that's going to be feasible in here. We may need to modify a window. He wanted to put it here, but I was thinking after we talked about it, it's just going to be way too loud to sleep with, because that's a full-on unit. And then we're only going to be able to use that unit whenever we're at a place that we're going to be hooking up. So we may either do this or end up putting it right here in this little cubby hole. If we can, we don't know the mechanics of how the wiring and everything is in the RV, so we'll have to look up this, see what exactly is behind this wall, and see if we can put the unit here. So the history behind this thing, it was originally an RV that a mom was using for her and her 8 children. I don't know how true that is, but when we came in, this is the front area where there should be a dinette and a table or something. There was nothing here. It was open just like this, and there's little slots and stuff that looks like there was made bunk beds. And one of the ladies said that when you walked in, there was a mattress right here. So you literally had to walk in onto the mattresses, and then she had bunks here. And then this is the big bed back here. So I don't know. And then she made all these shelves here, which took up another window back here, which would have been a good space maybe for an AC, a window unit. But I don't think I want to do away with these shelving, since it's just my husband and I, and we are going to be working out of here. This is actually going to be a blessing for us with all this shelving and storage space for all of our materials. We decided not to put in a dinette or anything like that here. We have a little bitty narrow desk that we might put in here. And then we're making a little cabinet area right over here that's going to house the refrigerator. Because right now they had the refrigerator up on a shelf and it was not stable. It was not locked down to anything. So we forgot about it in transport and it fell. It's still working, but we're going to go ahead and make a little cubby for it right here. Plus a little overhead shelving, since we'll have a little bit more room. We'll have an overhead shelving and then the cubby for the little refrigerator. But again, that's only being used when we have a hookup. And last year, since we've been training for this for over a year, last year through the winter and things like that, we learned how to keep our food and meat in an ice chest. We have a heavy duty ice chest. It's not Arctic level type ice chest, but it's like maybe a step down from that. So we had at least 5 days of ice and food that we were able to keep. And of course, it's an ice chest. We can't keep too much food in there. But we're trying to also, number one, live off the land. So if we're catching any fresh anything, which is fish, rabbits, on the property we're going, and he has an infestation of raccoons. These are out in the country. Raccoons out there are going to be okay to eat. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I will try it. I'm not going to say anything until I've tried it. So that's something we're going to be doing as far as the meats and proteins. The rest of it, he's a big fruit eater and I'm a big vegetable eater. So keeping fruits and vegetables in an ice chest cool will be a big option for us. That's a really big option. And then we're not very early eaters in the morning. We've been spoiling ourselves the last few weeks and getting sweet bread and tacos and things like that. But I just don't feel like, I'm to the point where I've told my husband a couple of times, I just don't feel like eating too much anymore, or eating period some days. And it's not that I'm not hungry or anything. I don't feel I need those heavy meals. Like if we have, some oranges or apples or watermelon or bananas, usually that cuts that curbs my cravings or my appetite, and I'm okay. The only thing we're probably not going to be without is going to be coffee and teas. We have to have our teas in the morning. We drink herbal teas like mullein or goldenrod, or even like a black tea. We're going to try to get that help us in the morning, just to have something nice and warm to rise with. Trying to cut down as much as possible on caffeine itself, like coffee. I'm trying my best to cut down to 1 cup a day, if maybe a few cups a week. Because right now I'm drinking 1 a day. Some days it's going to be 2. I try not to, but sometimes we're eating bread in the evening for dessert or just before we go to sleep. And it's just has become a little treat for us, and I think we're going to have to cut down on that maybe. So that's kind of our roundabout living situation, what we're going into. There is a stove in here with a small oven. This is actually nice because it's got 4 burners on it, and the oven, it's decent for some chicken, or even to bake with pies, cookies, cupcakes. That's decent. Again, not trying to use too much inside as far as water and light, because we're probably not going to be always in hookup areas. More for a boondocking type lifestyle, which boondocking is going to be more free land, BML land that's free, where we can just park there for 14 days at a time. And with that being said, there's no facilities, there's no utilities, there's nothing like that. We're basically primitive living. And if you have propane, that's going to be good. If you have wood, if you can burn on those lands, that'll be good. But for the most part, if we can do everything with propane for now, as far as needing to cook and warm up water and things like that, then that should be ideal for us. I was freaking out last night because I'm getting my anxiety and my fear again for doing this, and I'm looking at videos and stuff like this and not realizing this is how people live. This is what people do. And it's very hard for me, a city girl with all her things, and it's very hard for me to still kind of understand it. And like I said, I've been preparing to live a minimal life for the past 4 years. I started cutting down on all my stuff. I was in a small, my last residence by myself, I was in a small, less than 500 square foot apartment in the Heights. And it was just packed to the rim with clothes. Like, I had a little walk-in closet and there was clothes stacked in there. I mean, I was so surprised that, you know, the curtain rods, the clothes rods, there's one on one side and one on the other, didn't fall down with the abundance of clothes that I had, and shoes and purses and accessories and jewelry. I used to sell paparazzi, so I had tons and tons of jewelry stock. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And I knew I was getting ready to move, and I knew I was coming out here with my husband. He started in Cleveland. You know, he bought his little house out of here in Cleveland. That's where we are, and we've been here for the past 4 years. And I knew coming out here, I couldn't take all my stuff. I felt kind of embarrassed bringing all my stuff into his house, you know. And at the beginning, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, this is his house, you know. Until I become his wife, I can't really be comfortable and settle in with all my stuff. So before I moved, I started following the minimalists. If you don't know them, look them up. I forgot what their names were, but I started looking at some of their little free webinars and YouTubes and things like that they were talking about, and how you minimize and things like that. So I started doing that with my clothes, you know. Every 3 months I'd push stuff back, and I kept getting, you know, more and more stuff that I wasn't using. And I'm like, okay, so either we sell this or we give it away or we do something with it, because I'm not wearing 2/3 of what I own. So with all that being said, right now I have got myself down to a small duffel bag, or a regular sized duffel bag. My husband's in a big duffel bag. And just because his clothes are a little bit more bulky, me, I was able to, you know, the yoga pants and dresses, things like that, I was able to, you know, fold up and get them to a very minimal size. I still have a lot of clothes in there, but not as much as I came with. And so we've been preparing for this for a year now. Like, he and I have talked about this. This is what we wanted to do. And for whatever reason, getting to what I was saying, the fear and the anxiety hit me last night. And I didn't sleep last night. We went to bed maybe around 8 or 9. I woke up around 1, couldn't sleep, didn't go back to sleep. I've been up since maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. I fell asleep maybe around 4:30 for another hour or so, and then woke up, and I'm like, why am I freaking out about this? Number one, we've been talking about this for over a year. Number two, we've been preparing for this for over a year. And, you know, you're seeing all these videos and you're seeing these people and they're giving you information and they're telling you how to do this and what they do. And they do this, they're calling themselves full-time RVers, which means they don't have a home base. They don't have a house, an actual structure to go back to. And something in my brain just clicked and was like, you know what, this is what we're doing. And it's just like anything else. Problems arise, you have hard times, and there's going to be issues on the way. And it's just, even when you have a house, you know, the plumbing goes out. Okay, now we got to call a plumber, pay all that money to get the plumbing fixed. You know, there's a hurricane, a tornado, a tree falls on the roof. Well, now we got to get the roof fixed. It's the same thing, just in a different scenario. And my brain is having a hard time understanding this scenario of it. But the other part of it is, I'm going to be in so many different places. And I have for a long time, even after I got divorced some 15, 16, 17 years ago, I knew that once I got through taking care of the kids, that I wanted to see other places. And it took me till I'm 50 years old, to finally get to the point where I'm going to be able to do that. And it is just crazy to think that people work and work and work and work for all their stuff and give up all that time. And they go on, you know, a week and a half vacation, or those mini, you know, weekend vacations or whatever. And yeah, it's fun and you enjoy it. I mean, I did it with the kids. I did it myself when I was single, and go to different places. But it's not the same when you actually get to travel and see it and take your time and enjoy it, appreciate it, and take in whatever it is, wherever you are, that you are seeing. And that thought came into my head. And that's the thought that I'm going to hold on to. Because anything else is going to make me think about the past or think about a future that's still not past. And I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what good or what bad or what excitement or whatever's coming. I don't know. What I know right now is I have this opportunity right now. So this is my home. So I'm going to make it comfortable and do what's going to make me happy in it for now. And modifications will come later, you know, upgrades will come later, repairs, we're going as we travel, we're going to be making repairs. And we're aware that this is not a brand new RV. We're aware that this thing is 20 years old, 20, 30 years old. We are aware that there's going to be issues arising. So we've already talked about some plans for it. And for right now, this is our home. This is where we're going to be happy, and this is where we need to be comfortable. And if I can't get those thoughts in my head, then none of this is going to come about the right way. And it's the same thing with everything else you do. Anything you do. As long as you think about right now and try your best to not think about the what ifs that could happen and the what have happened, the better off your mental and stability of your thoughts will be. So with that said, we're going to go run a few errands. We're going to let this base dry, come back in, see if I can start painting again, and test some stuff out in here, and then we should be ready to start moving in. Love you guys. Shelly Rivera, Coffee Anxiety, and love. You have a great Monday. Happy, healthy, prosperous, and abundant day.